Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Today is Tuesday, which means we are going to be doing something random. And by the title, obviously, you know what we are going to be doing today. We are going to be reviewing a movie. Now, this movie is considered as an horror classic. It has great ratings, it has reviews on higher percentage. Everything is good if you search it online about this movie, and I decided to watch it. Now, which movie is it? I don't know what suspense I'm trying to build up here. You already know by the title which movie is it is. It is Rosemary's Baby. So this movie, due to all the reviews and all the ratings, that's why I decided to watch it. And let me tell you this, I'm disappointed. So this movie is a 1968 movie, which means it was made more than 50 years ago, and that's why maybe I have a different perspective now, or maybe due to all the ratings and reviews, I let my expectation get a lot higher. Maybe that's why I'm disappointed, but I am actually disappointed in very common thing. It's not the whole movie. Well, it is the whole movie pretty much. So before starting, I need to agree on one thing, which is not even a slightly disappointing. That is the casting. The actors, they all did a really good job with their acting as they were given. Well, not all. There are few that needs to be left out on the good acting bit. And who are those few I'm referring to?
I don't suppose we'll ever know.
Certainly seems that way.
So this movie actually starts with the creepy music, and due to that I made a quick judgment that this movie is going to be scary. And boy was I wrong. So we see two young married cute couple, Rosemary Woodhouse and Guy Woodhouse. Oh no, I am not forgetting his name. This guy's name is Guy. So we see this couple looking for a house to settle in, and Guy is a struggling actor, so they can't really afford an expensive place. And while Rosemary, see, keeps on doing this.
He was in Luther and Nobody Loves an Albatross and a lot of television plays and commercials. Guy Woodhouse. He was in Luther and Nobody Loves an Albatross and he does a lot of television and radio.
I'm not complaining. It is nice to see a wife so proud of her husband's work, but she needs to stop bragging his whole acting career history with anyone who asks, which isn't much actually. Well, maybe that's why she explains the whole thing. So Rosemary and Guy, they visit an apartment whose previous tenant actually died recently after being a long time in coma. And guess what? I'm going to let you guess this. As it goes in every horror movie, one of them loved the apartment. Who might it be? Yes, Rosemary. See, loved the apartment. So after they look around the apartment, they go to visit their common friend, Hutch, who is also a writer, and they tell about that place, and he tells them all sort of creepy and disturbing stories about the horrifying people who lived before in that building. And isn't the house with all the bad things our best choice? So yeah, they move in to that house, that apartment. And moving a little ahead in the movie, Rosemary was doing laundry when she met.
My name is Terry Gianofrio.
Now take a good look at this girl, Terry. What is the first thing that comes in your mind? That she's going to die, right? Because in every horror movie, there is a character who has a really short lifespan after they are introduced. So Rosemary and Terry talk for a while, and Rosemary shows her a charm that she was wearing as a necklace. And the way thoughts are focused on this thing, we know it is bad, but we are stupid enough, obviously, to notice all those non-hints this movie is giving us. So you remember the feeling you had while you saw Terry, right? Congratulate yourself, because she died. Suicide, they say, so people were gathered and police were there. So this is the first time in the movie where we see Roman and Minnie Kastavets. Yes, those generous people who sheltered Terry and loved her as their own kid. At this point, I'm not even sitting in a comfortable position. I am wide awake with my full focus on because now I was expecting that something dramatic, something emotional is going to come now, but
She's dead. Jumped out of the window.
That's not possible. That's a mistake.
Rosemary, she met Terry only once and she looks more concerned than the people who supposedly loved Terry as their own kid. Now, after all this, Roman and Minnie actually get more involved in Rosemary and Guy's life, and not in a just normal nosy neighbor kind of way. Like they're just stuck with them and they're everywhere in anything like that. So Guy actually gets more interested and closer with Minnie and Roman. And Rosemary at this point is upset. I mean, why, Ro? Isn't your husband supposed to be an adult who can decide for himself, for the people he allows in his life, right? Now, why am I focusing in this thing? I mean, it's not even something that needs to be focused on, right? So why am I focusing is that because he proves eventually that he shouldn't be allowed to choose people who he involves with. Now, after a few days, Guy gets a call that he is getting a pretty big role. It was like a big break in his career because the person who was originally casted to do the role was suddenly blind. That person just woke up another day and was blind, and that's why Guy got the role. Now, it was a big break. He got a big role in his career. He was going to get recognized among people, right? But maybe due to all this pressure and all, this was really a stressing rough patch for him. And his solution is,
Let's have a baby.
I mean, Guy, you have a beautiful, lovely wife. Go do a vacation with her because babies add more stress.
You really mean it, really?
And seeing Rosemary so happy, I'm deciding to shut up about this. So now, Guy has set up a calendar because they are going to try to have babies. So he has set up a calendar and they set up a romantic dinner date for themselves with drinks and everything. And guess what? Minnie comes in with her dessert. She made a chocolate mousse and she gives the dessert to them, but she doesn't stay. So they enjoy the dessert. Not both of them. They ate. Guy ate all of it. Rosemary threw some. But a while later, Rosemary actually felt dizzy. And here I am thinking that I actually was, I don't know, I think I was dumb at this point. Here I was thinking, did she get pregnant already? But a while later, we see this. Now at this point they saw a different pair of eyes and that gives everything away. Isn't there supposed to be something, some surprise for audience at the end? I mean, it's a horror movie. Oh wait, there is a big revelation at the end. But after watching this all, you tell me if that was a big revelation or not. I don't know at this point what this movie is trying to build up the suspense for. We know those aren't the normal human eyes and we know it's a ritual. Pretty much we know everything. But no, we are going to be waiting for the big revelation and we are going to act shocked because we're stupid apparently. So next morning, the husband Guy is joking about necrophilia while telling his wife how he enjoyed raping her while she was unconscious. But hey, how is it rape? They are married, right? No! Moving on, Rosemary gets pregnant. She tells her husband tells Minnie and Roman, and the miracle of birth begins. So Minnie and Roman actually make Rosemary change her doctor to Dr. Seperstein, some famous doctor. And this doctor, he is a weird person because he doesn't believe a pregnant woman reading books because he thinks the book misleads them. Okay, maybe in some point that might be true. It doesn't happen the same way that the books explains, right? So maybe in some ways right. But let me get ahead a bit. And he also tells not to share or hear any other people's pregnancy stories or share her own pregnancy stories because they aren't going to match. I wonder why. And the most funny part, he's a doctor and he doesn't believe in vitamin pills, but he trusts Minnie to get Rosemary a drink every day with all the vitamins and nutrients available. I mean, it's good. Taking natural vitamins, it's good. But apparently, it's not working well because she starts to feel pain. And I guess I didn't tell you this before. Rosemary received a gift from Minnie, which was actually the same charm that Terry was wearing. And as soon as Rosemary hears she's pregnant, she decides to wear that charm, that necklace, which was on a dead body. We all know how a pregnant lady looks like. We have seen pregnant women. So you have an image on your head. And now remember this, Rosemary is pregnant and she looks like this. So Hutch, the common friend, he was in the beginning warning them about the house. He comes to visit and he's concerned by all the weight loss and how Rosemary looks. He is concerned by that, and he also meets Roman actually, and he gets suspicious. At least one of them have to get suspicious, right? After all this. So he gets suspicious, but he doesn't actually say anything. But he called Rosemary a few days later and tells her that he wants to meet her and tell about something. So they decided to meet, but turn of events, the day they both decided to meet, Hutch goes into coma suddenly, just like that. And I guess Rosemary got a little suspicious there because she stops taking the drink. So when Rosemary complains about her continuously growing pain to her doctor, he just keep telling her that it's normal, it's going to go away, it's normal, something like that. And she also planned a party where Roman, Minnie, or any other people, older people, their neighbors were not invited. So her friends come at the party and they actually are concerned by Rosemary's condition. So they suggest her to take a second medical opinion on her pregnancy. And when she tells this to Guy, he just gets angry. And at this point, when a pregnant woman who is in continuous growing pain since she is pregnant, I would have asked to see the license of that doctor, no matter how famous he is. But suddenly, while they were quarreling, the pain stops just like that. It stops. And after that, she starts to gain weight and we see a happy montage, obviously. Happy, her belly is growing, she's gaining weight, she doesn't have pain. We see a happy montage. Until she gets a phone call 3 months later that Hutch, who was in coma, died. Now the movie actually goes somewhere. So she goes to Hutch's funeral and a friend of his gives a book to Rosemary that Hutch had actually left behind. He had highlighted the parts where Rosemary should read, and the book was actually about witches. So Rosemary reads the book, highlighted part and everything, and that's when she figures out that Roman is actually Stephen Margetto, son of an infamous witch. She shares all of this with her husband Guy, and he just serves her thought away by saying that she's overthinking and he isn't like his father and everything, and he throws the book away. So now she is slightly suspicious to her husband, and that's why she gets a detailed version of that book. She reads about all the rituals these people do and everything. There are something that confirms her suspicion into a fact, because the book said that the witches perform a ceremony where they can blind someone or make them fall into coma and make their death look natural. Like they can make someone have a heart attack and it will look natural, like because nothing happened. That guy had a heart attack, something like that. So she remembers that how Guy got his role, his big break. He got his big break when the another star, was blind suddenly. So now she's 100% sure that Guy is actually involved with these people, and she read in that book that they use blood for sacrifices in the ritual, and the most strongest form of blood is a baby blood. Now she thinks that Guy has actually made a trade. They asked for the baby, their baby. She was pregnant with the baby, right? So they asked for the baby, and in exchange he would get the success he always desired. So she's sure of it, and what she decides to do is go to Dr. Sebastian, only to figure out that he was involved with all of this too. Now by this point she had already thrown away the charm, so she doesn't know who to trust. So she calls Dr. Hill and goes to visit him. And I don't know if this scene was projected or decided to made it look like this, but this scene with Dr. Hill is really uncomfortable to watch, and creepy and uncomfortable. So she tells Dr. Hill everything, and what he did is called Sebastian and her husband, Guy. They took her home. She was resisting, she was running away, but they gave him a mild sedative to calm her down, and she goes into labor. But after she wakes up, they tell her that her baby is dead. But she hears baby crying, so she isn't agreeing with their story because she knows what this was. She wouldn't take any of the medicines they gave, she would throw it away, and she was nosy at this point, so she would snoop around the house. That's when she found a secret door leading to a secret hallway that was not actually the real hallway they regularly walk on. It was a kind of secret wing to the building. So she goes there, she hear lots of people talking, she also hear Minnie talking, and while she goes there she sees Minnie, Roman, Guy, and many other people. And there was a crib on the corner, and there was a baby. She goes near to that crib and she gets scared. And now is a big revelation, because that baby doesn't look normal. That baby doesn't look like a normal human child. So they give a big revelation to her. Now this is a big revelation, that this baby is not actually Guy's. The father of this baby is Satan himself. So yes, they were Satanists. So everyone was looking at the baby, and they were looking at Rosemary, the mother, obviously. And eventually Rosemary decides that she needs to be a mother to this child, even if the father was Satan himself. And that's how the movie ends. You know, for a horror movie, the only thing scary in this was only that song, nothing else at all. So that's it for today. I know I didn't upload any videos the previous week because I just needed a week to myself. But from now on, I'm here for you every Tuesday and Saturday. Saturday, I upload some true crime videos, which I name as Wicked Chapters of True Crime. So make sure to check that out, and make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for listening. Keep the humanity alive. Stay safe. Bye.